The Traitors is one of my favourite shows, and it's no secret as to why. I personally love the game Mafia, and it's fun to see people's thought process in eliminating those they think are working against them. Plus the fact it's in a castle and they've got all this mysterious medieval and supernatural imagery just gives it a vibe that I'm personally obsessed with. But there's something bugging me, an idea that I haven't seen explored despite watching all the seasons and even the spin-off ones in other countries. I've been thinking about making this video for a while, and I think now's the perfect time considering they're bringing back the Traitors with a celebrity cast, including Nico, who's a well-known YouTuber, just to really make sure they've got all the generations accounted for. I thought I'd make a video about strategy I think that could help in winning in the Traitors by exploiting something that's quite unique to this game. So join me as we talk about how to truly win the Traitors. But before we do that, please do subscribe. It's free and you can always unsubscribe later. Subscribing is the best way to support my channel as it allows me to make more videos and helps me reach more milestones. I really want to hit 400k soon and we're getting closer to that milestone each day. So if you could just check to see that you are subscribed, that would be great. Thank you, and back to the video. The Traitors act like Mafia, and if you don't know what Mafia is, then I'm assuming you know what Among Us is. In the game, the host, Claudia Winkleman, picks 2 to 3 traitors and the rest remain as faithful. They spend the day doing a group task that allows them to get more money for the prize pot, and the rest of the time is spent interacting with each other in the castle. At the end of the day, they have to vote on someone they would want to leave the castle. That person will then state whether they're a traitor or a faithful and leave the game. Once all of the players have left for the day, the traitors are invited back and they get to choose who to kill off in the night. The person they choose to kill will not be able to come back in the morning, allowing for the faithful to wonder who would have killed their fellow player. And the players will repeat the cycle until the end of the season. Again, think of it like Mafia or even Among Us. However, in the Traitors, they have a specific gimmick. If one of the traitors get voted out, the other traitors can recruit someone from the faithfuls. Now, this is to make sure that the game lasts longer. If you have no traitors, you don't really have a show. But there's something bugging me about this gimmick, because it kind of breaks the game a little bit, and I think that we can exploit this aspect of the game. As a faithful, there is a way to make sure that you know who you can trust. But in order to do this, you need to ignore what Claudia says at the beginning of the game. Do not vote traitors. Hear me out. The way the game works is that it brings on the issue of continuing the game. Mafia is known as a party game, designed with the ability to have the game played multiple times. Traitors is a continuous game, which means you need to make a few changes to the format in order to make sure that you have a show to begin with. Think of it this way: if you knew who the traitors were, if you happen to have the perfect game of sending a traitor out on the first try, well, they're just going to put another traitor in, because at least one traitor needs to make it to the end to keep people watching. Although I would love to watch a version where they guess all the traitors and the rest of the game is just spent chilling in a cool castle, but unfortunately that is not the point of the game. If you decide to, instead of focusing on getting traitors out, get out the people that aren't contributing to the tasks, you're still eliminating the same amount of contestants. But the difference is, you know the traitors had stayed the same throughout. If you kept guessing traitors, well, they're just gonna hand the role to the next guy, and now that's one more traitor you need to vote out. It's only near the end of the game that traitors can no longer recruit any members, in which case it's more optimal to remove them at the end. At the end of the game, there's no limit to how many people you can get out, although keep in mind the traitors would get a vote as well, which means the entire time you need to be scouting for who the traitors are and not reporting them, because by the end of the game, they won't be able to recruit and you can just get them out of there. Now, this is an idea that I've been thinking about for a while, and I think it's an interesting strategy. Since you would be losing the same amount of players anyway, it's more worth it to get rid of people that aren't pulling their weight rather than people acting suspicious. There's no benefit of getting rid of traitors early on, so they should definitely try this within the game, right? Well, there's gonna be a difference between in theory and in practice. I personally think that some of the smartest moves pulled by the contestants have often been overshadowed by people's own strange logic. Let me be clear, in one season they voted a guy off because he was a doctor. I'm not joking, because the contestants thought that the concept of Doctor by Day, Killer by Night was so interesting that the show just had to go for it. This led them to vote off Kaz, who was, prior to this, not even that suspicious. The thing that made him suspicious was the fact he had a medical degree. Hence why I believe that if you were to go into the traitors and say, hey guys, I've got an idea, let's not vote out who we think the traitors are, immediately you're going to be the first one out. It's a situation where everyone needs to be on board and everyone needs to understand the logic in order for it to not only work, but also so that you're left alive. Suggesting this as a tactic up front is way too risky to test out. But if you manage a way to make sure that someone else feels like it was their idea, then there might be a way to test this theory out after all. But it also gets the target off your back when the faithfuls decide who to banish and when the traitors decide who to kill. And also, side note, here's a tactic that I think all the traitors go for, but they really shouldn't. This tactic is throwing a new traitor under the bus just so the faithfuls are happy. Seriously, they do this every season. They recruit someone just so that they can throw them to the faithfuls as a sacrifice. If you go into the traitors with the idea that you're only playing for yourself, regardless of whether you're a traitor or a faithful, you're not going to be in the game for long. In a game where you're playing the traitor, ironically, you're gonna need a team that you can trust, otherwise it falls apart quite quickly. For example, in season 2, Paul and Harry trusted each other in being able to win as traitors, but one bit of miscommunication had caused Harry to believe that Paul was against him, and not only got Paul banished, but also caused suspicion to fall on Harry due to his reaction. When traitors have someone that they can rely on in the game, it allows them to make those difficult decisions and risky plays that can help them win the game. As a traitor, having at least one person to back you up is pretty important later down the line. Anyway, I have a feeling this video is going to be a short one, but it's something I wanted to discuss, whether or not this could be a strategy to winning the game. One of the reasons why I love this series is because they keep finding new things to add to the game, because it allows for new strategies. With the new additions to the game, you can't possibly expect it to function how it did previously, keeping you on your toes and allowing for new strategies to be formed mid-season. And yet I'm still curious to see if this idea could work. But what do you guys think? Are we onto something here? Thank you guys so much for watching. These videos are always fun for me to make, so it's great to know that you guys enjoy them as well. Thank you to my members. Once again, your support for this channel is why I can continue to make videos, and I appreciate it so much. But if you can't be a member, that's okay. I'm so thankful to everyone who subscribed. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!